Good afternoon, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here. My name is Stephanie Grader. I am the HMIS team lead. We have Brandy, Frankie, Ali, and Laura, our program specialists here as well. And then we also have John, Natasha, Curtis, and Michael from the BA team with us. All right, let's get started.
Hi everyone. So on today's agenda, we will be
Oh,
going
Allie, we
over.
can't hear you. Or can you guys hear her?
I can
Okay.
hear.
Oh, okay.
Can hear.
Okay.
Cool. Go ahead.
I was like, I can be loud if I need to be. So on today's agenda, we will be going over a few webinar reminders. We have a couple announcements, doing some DQ reminders, and then we will be doing training about resetting passwords. So we're in for a fun afternoon.
All right, so we just have some webinar reminders. Share any relevant information that you learned today with appropriate staff at your agency. Ask questions using the Q&A function. Attendance is collected by survey completion at the end of this session. And webinar recording and notes will be sent out by Monday, May 5th, 2025. Friday, May 9th, 2025 is the deadline to complete the video quiz webinar.
And one thing that I just want to add to this session, so I don't have that much to contribute. Everyone else, as everyone's worked with the program specialist and the help desk and the business analyst, know that everyone is fantastic. I read the reviews every month, so everyone's like, amazing work. So I call people by name. So I really appreciate that. I look at that every single month. And so people who leave, you know, reviews in the ticketing portal or emails, it's just super appreciated. But I think the piece that I also want to communicate to all the people on the webinar, especially our providers, admins, point of contacts, is we sincerely appreciate all the work that you do as well on a day-to-day basis. We have a couple of people on the team who have worked with agencies or who have experience or who have worked with clients experiencing homelessness, and the amount of value they bring to it, to the work that we do, the amount of empathy is just invaluable. And everyone's been very patient. I know we've had some transition. It's been a while, we're stable now, but team members have changed. Managerial stuff has changed, from a year ago. And over that time, we just really appreciate all of the patience and the contributions. We're always asking you about things like, can you have the PIT numbers and the HIC numbers and the LSA and the SPMs, and it's all back to back to back. And so we know that is an additional burden on all the providers and agencies in the continuum, both Balance Estate as well as Maricopa County. And, we are just ever grateful. The amount of response that we got with the PIT HIC this year and the responses of agencies regarding federal reports or SPMs has just been outstanding and amazing. And so, going forward, we just really want to say that, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for working with us. And we really hope to build just stronger partnerships throughout over this next 6 months, years, decades to come, whatever it might be. But, thank you we really appreciate all the agencies that we work with so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Everyone, welcome. I'm glad to see all of you here today. We're going to go over a few DQs, reminders, just so that you can pass them along to your teams. One of the reminders, the first one we're going to get into is the reminder on Social Security numbers and the DQ that goes along with them. We asked, like I said, for you to pass these along. It's very vital that your team understands how to collect the Social Security number and the DQ question. We know this information is supposed to be collected when you first enter someone into the system, but clients aren't always comfortable and they may feel hesitant on sharing this information right away, which is understandable. You want to build that rapport. It's important to keep in mind that this is a required field and that it does help with mainstream programs, and having the Social Security number on file can actually help clients access the services that are needed. Wrong slide. Sorry. Can you switch slides there, Steph? I don't know why that one was first. I apologize, everyone. There we go. That's more like what I'm trying to say. It's okay. Let's see. Back to saying it's very important that the Social Security information and DQs are filled out properly. Having the Social Security number can actually help our clients, as I was stating, and we want to respect their hesitation But moving forward, we want to explain that it's important to also encourage your clients to give this information at some point so that by the end of you working with that client, all their data is in the system correctly. One of the most important parts of this data collection is that we do not use placeholders when entering a social security number. If the client doesn't want to share this information, please do not put zeros or random numbers just to fill in the field. You want to leave it blank. You can always go back and add it later on once you build that rapport and trust with the client. To update it, you would just go into the client profile tab and click on the pencil icon, and that will bring you back to the client record and you can fill out that missing information. Also, you can use partial if you get a partial, and that's good. A lot of places, a lot of outreach and PATH are allowed to use partials, but most other programs and projects do require the full social security number. Also, whether you get the full social security, the partial, or none at all, make sure that your data quality responses matches what you entered. It's very important for your reports that the section must be completed. Choose an option that best fits the situation, whether it's client doesn't know, client prefers not to answer, or data not collected. We do highly recommend that you don't use data not collected, and this will trigger an error on your reporting. Choose the option that best fits the situation and don't leave it blank, and avoid selecting data not collected are some of the most important things for you to pass down to your team. And finally, if the client is enrolled in your project, you need to have their social security and DQ answers in there before they exit your program. This is very critical for data and historical data. All right. Both Maricopa County, this is going to be for the test clients. This is also very important for AAs. Both Maricopa County and Balance of State have test clients. They're there for you guys to use for testing clients, looking at projects that we were built out in the system for you. But you need to remember that this is also something that is in the live site. So any information that you put into the test client is going to show up on any reports that you're using in projects that you're using for the test client. So the way to get around that and not having any data errors or any quality errors or bad low Qs on your report cards would be to delete your entry exit of the record that you created after you're done using it. Just hit that little trash can that's next to the program that you created. And once that's done, that profile will not show up on any of your reports moving forward. Maricopa County, you do have a training site. You do have that option to have your workers work within the training site. That way it doesn't hinder or put any negative errors on your reports. We do highly recommend that 100%. Balance State, you don't have that option. We do have the #1 test test for you to use, plus their family members, but whatever information you put in there, just delete so that it doesn't go up on your reports. Please don't create any fake clients within the live site. I can go in and clean them out, but if I don't know that they're not real, I can't clean them out. So please don't do any of that. AAs, you wouldn't use the training site to test any new project setups. That is because we don't put them in the training site until we copy it over. So you would have to make sure to use the live site when testing out your training sites. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So we're just gonna go over resetting passwords and the function that you guys have as AA to reset passwords. So there's 3 ways that a user can reset their password. It's either submitting a ticket to our HMIS help desk, to use the forgot password function where they'll receive an email and they can do it themselves, or through agency admins who are able to go into their user accounts and generate a new password. So, you know, the HMIS help desk is better when the user submits the ticket themselves saying that they need a password reset, then we can just send it directly to them. But this can take up to 3 hours for us to get this done, depending on the week and how busy we are, which is why it's important for you guys to know the other functions as well. So the forgot password function, like I said, the user will receive, once they click forgot password, they'll enter their username, and the user will receive an email with a link. Through that link, they would be able to create their own password. Now, sometimes there's instances where a user doesn't receive an email from using this forgot password function. If that's the case, it's likely because their email isn't correctly inputted in HMIS. So you can submit a ticket to check in on that. But also it might be that your agency's IT department is blocking WellSky emails. So they may not even get it at all. So if that's the case, then, agency admins do have the ability to generate a new password for users. You would just go into HMIS, go to the admin tab, go into user admin, and look up the user within your agency that needs a new password. So the only thing here is that you want to make sure that you're clicking save and exit, otherwise it won't save. And then, just let users know after you give them that new password that they will have to create their own password. So some notes that I have on here is to make sure to tell your users that when it says password expired, it doesn't mean that it didn't work. That's just saying that the temporary password is expired, so you need to create your own password. There's a lot of confusion in that area. And then also I wanted to note that agency admins should only be giving users a temporary password. That's the only thing that they should be changing or looking at their users' accounts for. So, we don't want you to check mark or uncheck mark anything on their account or add EDAs to projects or anything like that. Only generating passwords. And then a note is any user that does need to have a new password, they won't have access to business objects, to SAP BO for 24 hours. So that's something to keep in mind. And then also to tell your users that if there is a report that they need to pull, they'll have to wait till the following day if they aren't able to log in.
Thank you, Laura. We'll just break and see if there's any questions. So let's just give it a moment. Yeah, so it looked like there was a question asking about if you're not able to see your users as an admin. If that is the case, go ahead and submit a ticket to us. And we can go ahead and look at like the way your account's set up. It might be an issue with that. And then again, we can troubleshoot from there. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It's short and sweet this quarter. Again, thank you all for coming. Send us a ticket if you guys have any other questions. If not, again, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.